Artificial intelligence was not expecting much. In fact, the goal had been relatively modest, simply hoping to enhance old data with new technology. What they got instead, however, was not a clearer image but a discovery. Something was in the picture. Something that wasn't there before. A pattern that couldn't be explained by error or artifact. Something that responded. Something that confirmed what many had feared for decades, that Voyager the 1st of May not be alone out there. And what's more unsettling, it may have been noticed. When Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space in 2012, it marked one of humanity's most historic moments. For the first time, an object built by human hands entered a realm completely untouched by our instruments or understanding. It was the edge, the threshold, the silence beyond the familiar hum of the solar system. 4 years after that crossing, the data seemed routine. There were unchanging levels of cosmic radiation, consistent plasma readings, and nothing visually extraordinary. It was, by all appearances, just the cold void of deep space, empty and vast. But then something changed. A new analysis, conducted by quantum AI, revealed something strange, something extraordinary. Embedded across several frames captured between 2012 and 2015 was a faint, recurring formation. It was not a smear, nor a lens flare, nor a digital glitch. No. This was a symmetrical, grid-like structure. It was barely perceptible to the naked eye, almost like a ghost in the data. But once the AI connected the patterns and synchronized them across multiple time-stamped images, the truth was undeniable. The structure was there. It had been there all along. What stunned the researchers even more was that the structure seemed to maintain a consistent position relative to Voyager's motion. That detail, small, yet profound, meant only one of two things. Either it moved with the spacecraft, shadowing it like a silent sentinel, or it was anchored in space in a way that defied all current understanding of interstellar mechanics. In either case, the implications were staggering. At first, the researchers believed the pattern was just a strange interference effect, a natural quirk of long-range imaging. But then they noticed something even more alarming. Whenever Voyager activated its instruments to scan a particular region, the anomaly shifted, not erratically, but rhythmically. The structure appeared to realign itself, slightly and subtly, as if reacting to the observation itself. It wasn't just there. It was watching back. The quantum AI picked up correlations between scan frequencies and the reorientation of the formation. Micro-changes in symmetry matched Voyager's telemetry signals almost perfectly. This behavior was chilling. It mirrored a well-known principle in quantum mechanics, the observer effect, where the act of measuring a system alters its state. But this wasn't quantum particles. This was space, kilometers and kilometers of space, being scanned by Voyager. And the anomaly's response, consistent and repeatable, suggested something else entirely. Either we had stumbled upon a kind of cosmic mirror, or we had triggered something designed to respond. And it didn't take long before the anomaly's geometry began to reveal more than just structure. The AI began decoding spatial arrangements between points in the grid, identifying numerical sequences that weren't just curious, they were deliberate. Patterns of prime numbers began to emerge. Ratios resembling Fibonacci spirals. Even harmonics that aligned with known physical constants. The deeper the analysis went, the clearer it became that this was not random noise. Nor was it a fluke of image compression. These were the same types of mathematical signatures humanity had included on Voyager's golden record, our interstellar handshake encoded in sound, image, and math. The discovery wasn't just symbolic. It was statistically impossible to occur by chance. If the anomaly was echoing back those same universal patterns, it meant one thing: somewhere out there, something had not only received our signal but had structured a reply. And it had done so not in words, not in language, but in the language of the cosmos itself, math. Faced with something that didn't fit into any known physical model, the scientists involved in the project outlined 3 working theories, each more unsettling than the last. The first theory suggested the anomaly might be a passive relic of an ancient galactic structure, a kind of gravitational mesh embedded in space-time, invisible to us until now. The second posited that the anomaly might be the result of an advanced civilization's long-dormant communication system, a beacon that only responds when triggered by intelligent signals, like those from Voyager. But it was the third theory that silenced the room. It proposed that the anomaly wasn't a structure or a device at all, but a presence. A form of sentient observation so far beyond our understanding that it doesn't even resemble life as we know it. According to this view, Voyager 1 didn't stumble across an artifact. It crossed into a field of awareness, one that had been there long before us, and may have just noticed that we finally looked its way. After the anomaly was identified, the research team began compiling an internal report, one that was never meant to be made public. The tone of the document, according to someone who reviewed a draft, wasn't one of scientific curiosity. It was unease. What disturbed them most wasn't just the structure or the patterns. It was the silence. In several image sequences analyzed by the quantum AI, there were unexpected voids. Portions where Voyager's instruments should have captured background radiation, cosmic dust, or infrared interference. But instead, it recorded nothing. Not emptiness. Not low signal. Nothing, a perfect absence. These dead zones appeared only in frames where the anomaly was present, suggesting that something about the object, or entity, was interfering with or perhaps absorbing the surrounding radiation itself. It was as if space had folded in on itself. As if there was something there, not just beyond visibility, but beyond interaction. These voids were, in every practical sense, unmeasurable. And that alone terrified the analysts more than any pattern ever could. The team didn't stop at Voyager 1. They began reviewing archival data from other missions, Hubble, Spitzer, even radio observations from Earth-based telescopes. And what they found was even more disturbing. Faint echoes of the same geometric pattern, though weaker and more dispersed, appeared in datasets from completely different regions of the sky. Some were buried in noise. Others had been dismissed decades ago as anomalies or calibration errors. But when processed using the same quantum AI filters, the pattern re-emerged, weaker, fragmented, but unmistakably connected. This suggested that the phenomenon wasn't limited to the region Voyager 1 was passing through. It was broader. Spread out. Possibly a lattice across interstellar space, a cosmic infrastructure, not made of matter, but of pattern, of presence. This was no longer about a single encounter. This was about a structure or awareness woven into the fabric of the galaxy itself. Something that's been there all along. Unseen, until we learned how to listen. As the data accumulated, a new question emerged, one that divided the team. Was the anomaly a form of sentient intelligence? Something capable of awareness and intent? Or was it something older, more primal, perhaps a kind of living code? One theory suggests that this is not an artificial construction in the traditional sense, but rather a self-replicating algorithm of space-time. Something that exists not within the universe, but as part of its operating system, a built-in observer. An ancient mechanism that activates only when a signal matches a certain threshold, like the prime sequences from Voyager's Golden Record. Under this view, the anomaly isn't intelligent in the way we are. But it responds. It adjusts. It recognizes structure and returns structure. It echoes our presence back to us, as if to say, "You are seen." And if that's true, then Voyager 1 didn't find life. It found a mirror, not of our biology, but of our intent. Of our curiosity. Of our urge to reach outward. As word of the anomaly spread quietly through academic channels, a troubling debate began to take shape. Some argued that the data should be published, peer-reviewed and made public, in the spirit of scientific transparency. Others insisted that revealing this now, especially under the context of such a high degree of uncertainty, could spark misinformation, panic, or worse, be dismissed entirely as pseudoscience. A few even questioned whether humanity was ready for this kind of revelation at all. Because if the anomaly is real, and if it truly is a form of communication, of recognition, then the implications go beyond physics or astronomy. They touch on something older. Something spiritual. Philosophical. The very fabric of what we believe we are. If something noticed Voyager, it means the universe is not a void. It is not silent. It is not empty. It is a stage. And someone, or something, has just opened the curtain and turned toward the audience. For decades, Voyager 1 drifted quietly through space. A silent witness to the vast